When I first started learning how to build a WordPress website, I was overwhelmed, intimidated, and it took me a very long time to learn. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. I found a very quick and easy way to build a WordPress website that will have you making professional looking websites in just under half an hour. Here's a sample website that I created, and it was easier than some of the most popular website builders. And I did this using specific plugins and pre-built templates that I'm going to show you how to use in this very video so that you too can easily create a website just like this. And the best part is that I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step process so that you can apply this knowledge to make any changes you like, not only the ones that I'm going to make. So before we dive straight into it, here's the plan for today. The first thing we need to do is get hosting and a domain. So for those of you unsure of what it is, think of it like buying a house. So the land on which your house is built on is the hosting, and the house is the domain or your website, which we're going to be decorating and adding content into. The second step is adding blog posts. So we're going to add some content so that we have something to work with so that our website can look more complete. And finally, we're going to design it, make it look very pretty, customize our site, add a nice looking theme, and we're going to integrate everything together, every single page of the site. So are you ready? Let's get straight into it. All right, so let's get into it. So the first thing we said we needed was a hosting and a domain plan. And you can use any company for that. The one I've been using is Hostinger. So if you head over to go.ivanmana.com/Hostinger, you will get an exclusive discount if you use this affiliate link. And you can get your hosting and domain plan for as little as $2.99 a month, which is super, super cheap, guys. You pay over hundreds of dollars for specialized website or landing page builders. So what I'm going to show you here, the way we're going to be able to build our website so quickly and easily, this is way more than worth the price. So I like to go with this business plan for just $3.99 a month, $4 a month, guys, super, super cheap. You get all these options. So you get a free email you can set up. You get your security certificate. So your website shows up as secure. It's that little, the little S over here, HTTPS, so that it shows connection is secure. So that's really, really important. You can have up to 100 different websites with this hosting plan, which is really, really cool. And they also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, which I've never had to use. The uptime guarantee on the server is very high. In my case, my website with Hostinger was never down, which is also one of the reasons why I love Hostinger. And by the way, the main reason why we're going with the business plan specifically is because you need at least this plan to be able to access some of the AI tools that we'll be using later on in the video to quickly write out content for our site. And this plan also provides faster loading times, which of course you always want. So we're going to go with this option here. We're just going to come in here, click on add to cart. And here you can choose a period. So how committed are you to building out this WordPress website? So obviously the longer you pay for, the cheaper it is on a per month basis. I'm going to go with this 12-month option just because I'm not actually going to use this as just a test website. But the 24-month or the 48-month obviously give you the greatest savings on a per month basis. So the next thing you're going to have to do is just create an account if you haven't already. I do. So I'm just going to log in here, and then you need to enter your payment details. And if you come in here and you enter your coupon code, if you enter Ivan Mana and click on apply, you will get an additional discount. So it goes from $59 to about $53. So for an entire year, you guys are going to be able to work with this website. All right. So what I'm going to do is just fill in all these details. I'm going to log in, and then I'm going to see you on the next page as we continue with this process. All right. And so I entered all my payment details, and this is the next page that you'll see. So do you want to migrate an existing website or create a new one? So we're obviously going to create one here. We're going to click on next, and we're going to use this WordPress with AI option. So I'm going to show you how you can use AI to build out your posts so you don't have to manually write everything out, at least just as filler content. However, the Hostinger website builder is also really cool. I do have a video on that if you want to see how to use it. It's like a customized special website builder where you have all the elements on the left, you know, just like a standard website builder you can find like Unbounce or Kartra, things like that. But I'm going to show you how to make it just as simple with this WordPress with AI option as well. So we're going to click on create. And then over here, you want to set your password to log into your WordPress website separately. So once we have a domain, you'll be able to log in separately to that domain. So you want to enter the password here. You don't have to worry about it too much because what I personally do is actually just log in via Hostinger. So you can do that as well. But if you want for simplicity, you can go in here and just enter the same exact password as you have for Hostinger. So there you go. We entered our password. We're going to click on next. And it's asking what type of website do you want to build? So we can select blog over here, click on next. This doesn't matter too much because we're going to be installing everything from within our actual dashboard. Okay, so don't worry too much about the options you select there. We're going to go with, we're actually going to just click skip. And then we don't want any plugins. We're going to select them manually. And I'm actually going to give you a list of the specific plugins that we're going to install. So over here, what we want to do is let's actually enter our brand name and the description so that we can generate our blog posts. So we have something to work with. So let's suppose for this video, we want to promote my affiliate marketing guide and show people how to make money online. So our brand name, let's suppose mine, Ivan Mana Inc. And then for the description, we want to say, so what do we want to generate our blogs about in general, right? So let's suppose how to make money online with affiliate marketing. And we're going to click next. And then we need to have a domain, right? So I already have some domains over here, but if you don't have one, we need to buy one. So I just typed in the name of a domain here, ivanmanamarketing.com, and it is available. And it is free here because as part of our plan, it's free. So we're just going to click that over here and it's just going to register the domain. So we're going to give it a second. So this next question here, it's asking where your audience is, right? Because the closer this data center is to your audience, the faster the website will load. It doesn't matter too much ultimately. So if you have a global audience, you don't have to worry too much about it. But we're going to come in here and select Massachusetts because I know that my audience is mainly based in the US. And now it's just going to install WordPress as well as add the additional blog posts to it. So we'll be able to come in there. I'm going to show you what the inside looks like. We'll be able to go in there and edit some of the blog posts, maybe add some images, and then we're just going to customize and make our website look very, very nice and professional. All right, and so our website is set up. Everything is good to go. It does say it's going to be accessible in about 3 minutes, so you do need to give it some time for it to be available, as well as for WordPress to put the SSL certificate on it. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is let's go ahead and check our email just to verify our domain here first. All right, so I haven't received yet the email for the domain that we just bought, but you should generally receive it pretty quickly. However, here's an example of an email that you will get after you buy the hosting and the domain plan that just says that you need to verify your contact information for your domain. All you're going to have to do is just click on the link that starts with validate over here, and your domain's going to be validated and ready and good to go, okay? And then we can come back into our Hostinger account and proceed. And so congratulations, we have now successfully bought the hosting and the domain plan. So now we're ready to come in there and add some content on our website before we start customizing it and making it look pretty. So you can click on admin panel over here, and this will take you to the main WordPress dashboard, which might seem intimidating at first, but trust me, we're going to get through it. You're going to be a master by the end of this. So if we come over here and we click on visit site, your site will look like this. So not bad. Okay. Congratulations on starting something. It is indeed secure, which is amazing. And we're going to be working with this, and we're going to be building out something that will look something like this. Okay. So we're going to use this as an example. This is the example site that I created. We're going to do something similar to that. Before we do that, let me quickly give you a lay of the land just so you're not too overwhelmed with all the different features here. So over here on the left-hand side, you have AI content creator with Hostinger. So that's really, really cool. So you're going to be able to click here and generate some posts or pages. So we will be using this in this video. I'm going to show you how to use it. Really cool stuff. You have your main dashboard where you're going to have all your options here. You know, it's going to say welcome to WordPress. It's going to have your recent activity. If you don't want any of these settings here, you can just click over here under screen options and remove any option that you don't want. So if you don't want this welcome here, you can remove it. If you don't want the site health status, you can remove it. I like it all. I think it looks pretty good as is, so we're just going to keep it. You have your posts. So this is where these are basically the blogs, right? So these are the auto-generated blogs that were created when we were doing the process of setting up our domain. You have your media where you'll be able to add all your images. You have your standalone pages. So the pages are like the contact page, the about page, the services page. So these are the separate pages, like about, services. And then the individual blog posts are these. So if you click here, this isn't a page, this is a blog post. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. You have comments. If somebody leaves a comment, you'll be able to see it there. You have appearance. So this is where we're going to be customizing and making our site look pretty. You have plugins, which are basically extensions to your website, which we will get into as well. I'm going to actually include also in the description of this video a list of the good plugins that you should be using to help improve your site and to make it super, super easy to set up. You have your users here. And one of the first things you should actually do is click on all users over here, click on edit. And I don't want the post to show that it's written by IvanManaMarketing.com. I don't want it to show that. Instead, I just want it to show my name. So I'm going to come over here under nickname. I'm going to write Ivan. I'm going to come over here and set Ivan over here, scroll down and click on update profile. And so once we go back to our posts, we'll be able to set our name as Ivan as opposed to the other one. So that looks good. You can add a picture if you like via Gravatar. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but some sort of central WordPress site where you can come in there, add a picture, and it's going to apply to a bunch of different sites as well. You have tools over here. So if you want to import, export your site, see your site health, things like that, you can do so over here. You have settings. So let me go over some of these options over here as well. The first one here is reading that you want to go to. And if your site isn't yet ready, if you are still working on it, there's still a lot of stuff that you really don't want to show the world, you want to click this option here, discourage search engines from indexing this site. And that way people won't see the site prematurely before it's ready. You also want to go into discussion over here. And over here, you can choose what you want to do with the comments. So do you want to manually approve all comments, or do you want to just let all the comments go? Are there any specific words that you want to trigger? If somebody writes them in there, then the post is going to be held in moderation or just completely disallowed. You can set all your comment options here. I think the default options are okay, so we're just going to leave it as is. And last but not least, you want to go into permalinks over here, and you want to change what the post name looks like. So right now it's going to look like this, where if somebody clicks on your blog post, it's going to have the name of your website / sample post, and it's going to have the name of your post. I want to do something similar to that, except I don't like the / at the end. So I'm just going to delete that / there, scroll down, click on save changes, and now it's going to look a little nicer. Okay. So these are all the main settings here. Let's go into posts, like I said, and let's just edit some of these posts and add some images to make it look nice so that we can add some images. So if somebody clicks on this, for example, it's going to show a nice image there. Maybe we'll change some words around, things like that. All right. So we can come in here, and what I'm going to do here to make it go quick is actually click on Control and click on Edit. Edit all of these posts, and that way we can see them all without needing to manually go forward and back. And that should be all 6 of them. So if we come in here, so as you can see, this is the WordPress editor, okay? But it's a pain to use, right? So after we add some images here into these posts, I'm going to show you how to edit these posts very, very, very easily using a plugin called Elementor. And we're going to be using that to create and build an amazing looking website just like this. If we go back to home, right, looks very nice and neat. So let's come in here first, and we're going to, on the right-hand side, click on featured image, and we're going to set a featured image. And what you can do is you can select files here. What I've done is actually created a folder for this site, which is right here. And what I'm going to do is just drag all these images here. And then we're going to be able to select them one by one. Of course, what you can do is go to Pixabay or Pexels or wherever you get your images and get the images that way. But just to save time, I've kind of added all the pictures that we needed here in one. So once they finish uploading, we can just come in here and select the image, set as featured image, and click on update. And so there you go. I've added the featured image to all of these different posts. So now if we come back up top to our website, we refresh it, we're going to see a nice little image here. Okay, so this is a good start, but don't worry, we will make all of this look nicer as well. Over here, you see another image. And one of the reasons why we're doing this is so that we can create something that's going to look like this, right? So it's going to be nice, and you're going to see all the images here, all the posts right there. So it's just going to look very nice and organized. One thing you do want to keep in mind is that make sure your pictures are the same dimensions, right? So if you're going to be doing something like this, which I'm going to show you how to do in this video, you want to make sure you select images with similar ratios, similar dimensions, right? You don't want one image that's very vertical and another one that's very horizontal, because then it's not going to look the same. It's not going to look good, right? It's not going to look as detailed and precise. So that's that. So these are the posts. I think it looks good. Let's go back and let me just show you how to add, let's say, one more post, what we can do. So if you go into Hostinger over here, you click on AI Content Creator. You can set if you want to create something for pages or posts. And this is actually where we'll also be able to add our privacy policy in terms of use and stuff like that. But if you go to posts, you can select your tone of voice. Let's say formal. We want to make it long. And we want to say 7 ways to make money with affiliate marketing working from home. And then we're just going to click on generate content. And there you go. It's been automatically done for us. It even added a nice little image, and you can select to have the image there or not. I'm just going to deselect it so we can add our own. And then you see here, the 7 effective strategies to make money with affiliate marketing from home. And it wrote a very, very detailed article. And what we can do is we can scroll down. We can see how many words it has, how many characters, so quite a lot. And then we can just click on publish. And right away, it's going to be published to our website as an article, right? So just like that. So it looks really cool. So we're going to go back by clicking on the top left here, clicking on dashboard, and then clicking back on posts. And we're going to see our latest post right over here. So let's keep it at 6. So we're going to delete one of them. Let's suppose I don't like this one. It's too similar. Let's keep it at 6 posts here just to make it nice and even. And so here we have these 6 posts. And so I'm happy with that. So let's go back to our site here. Let's just see what it looks like with the blogs. As you can see here, it has been updated to now say just Ivan. And you have all the blog posts here, but this doesn't look pretty, right? It doesn't look like a good looking website that you want to invite people to, just like a house that looks very messy and disorganized, and it's not a house you want people to visit. So the next thing we're going to do now is customize our website, make it look nice, add some pages as well, an about us page, contact us page, something like that, and then integrate everything together, right? So that if somebody clicks on the link to, let's say, the services page, they're going to be taken there. So pretty straightforward. And once again, if you have to leave, if you have to, exit the page, you can always come back to this very same page via Hostinger. So you just have to log into Hostinger, select your website, and then click on admin panel. And that's it. So super, super easy. So the first thing we're going to do is install some plugins. All right. So let's head over into plugins, click on install plugins. Now, instead of me just giving you a list of plugins to install, I'm going to install them as we need them, because that way you'll be able to see for what we need the plugins as the need arises later on in the video. Okay. So for right now, we need 2 plugins to start with. One is a starter themes plugin, which will allow us to start with beautiful themes like this. So we don't have to do much editing. So that makes the process very, very simple. And the other one is Elementor, which is a page builder that we'll be able to use to come in here and edit it so that WordPress is very, very simple, easier than many other landing or website page builders out there. So we're going to come in here and click on add new plugin, and we're going to search. So we're going to say first is starter theme. We're going to type that in, and it's going to be this one right here, starter templates. We're going to click on install. We're going to wait for it to install, and then we need to click on activate. All right. And then we need one more theme right now, which is going to be Elementor. And Elementor is going to be our editor theme that we're going to use to edit. So we're going to click install now for Elementor. And we're going to click activate. And there you go. So if we come back into our plugins and we see our plugin here, Elementor and starter templates. Okay, so these 2 are going to be very important for us to get started because they're going to make the process very, very smooth so you're not as overwhelmed. So in order to select a nice theme for our site, we're going to click on appearance and click on starter templates right over here. And we'll be able to select one of existing very good looking themes. So we're going to click on classic starter templates over here. And then the one more thing you do have to do is come over here and select Elementor. So you can choose any builder that you like. You can use the default block editor, which as you saw is going to be very difficult to work with. You can choose Beaver Builder, or there are some other builders as well, like Spectra Builder, I believe Astra Builder. So you can just leave it as is, and the themes are going to come pre-installed with them. Or you can click on Elementor, and it will show you the themes that are going to be compatible with Elementor. And that's what we want, because trust me, Elementor is very, very, very easy to use. You're going to see, you're going to love it. So you can choose any template that you like. I selected this template here for my website. I thought it looked very nice, very professional, very simple. You can choose any one of these. So depending on your niche, whatever you like, and then you can make the changes just as easily. So I really like this sort of theme. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one because it's very similar. I like this layout. And then you can just go in there and make the changes as you see fit. So we're going to click here, and then you can start by choosing the color palette. So do you want it to be, yellow, green? Green looks nice. Red, pink, right? Any color. And again, you can change all of this later on. So I think the green one looks nice. Let's go with green. I think green one looks really nice. You can upload a site logo here, or you can upload it later on. Don't worry about that. You can choose the font pair, right? Whatever you want, but again, not too important. So over here, it's just asking to tell us a little bit about yourself. So let's say Ivan at ivanmana.com. I am, let's say, expert, and see all the options they give us. And let's say myself, my company. So we're going to install this theme, right? This beautiful looking theme. And it's going to also install additional required plugins if there are any. It's going to install the Astra theme because this was made via Astra. And we'll be able to come in here and customize it. All right. So we'll click on submit and build my site. We're going to give it a few moments, and then our site should be up and running, and it's going to look much, much, much prettier than this already. And then I'm going to show you how to go in there and just make some edits and make the changes as you see fit so that you can customize the website to your liking. All right. And it says the website's ready. So we can click visit website here, or we can just come in here and refresh this page. And here is our site. Okay, so already it comes with everything. It comes with the images, comes with the text, comes with the pictures, right? Comes with nice buttons, and comes with a menu bar at the top over here, which the way I have it here is so it's at the top. It's not transparent, but you can make it transparent here if you wish. So now all we have to do is come in there and make some changes, right? Tailored to your specific website, which in this case is affiliate marketing. So we're going to click on visit dashboard. And now we're going to go back into pages, all pages, and all the pages have already been created automatically for you. So the home page, about page, service page, contact page, you can add more pages if you like, or you can remove any pages that you don't like. So privacy policy, let's remove the privacy policy, and we're going to create a new one later on. The services, right? I think those are okay. So let's start off by editing our homepage, our main page over here. So what we want to do is maybe pick a different image. We want to change this so it's also white, or I'm going to show you where to go if you want to make it stay the same as it is. And then we want to add our blogs, right? So we want to say, check out our other blogs, right? So people can see that we have some content there, maybe have some testimonials here. Change all this as you see fit. So let's come back here. And the first thing we're going to do before we edit with Elementor is let's go into edit over here. And this is where you'll be able to set how you want your menu bar to appear. Do you want it to show up like this, or the way I have it here where it's white at the top, right? So we're going to come in here. We're going to click on this Astra button over here, click on advanced settings, and click on either disabled or inherit is fine. So we can click on inherit, return to post, click update. And now if we refresh this page, we should see it white over here, right? So it's no longer transparent, and we'll be able to change the options here, like the margins and all that. I'll show you how, but I think it looks much more professional this way as opposed to being transparent, but that's just my personal preference. So now we can come in here and click on edit with Elementor. And now this is where we'll be able to come in there and change all these elements up. So I'm going to show you how to use it. So very simple. So just like any other drag and drop builder that you're familiar with, you know, I've made many tutorials on Kartra, on Unbounce, on ClickFunnels. It's the same thing here. Okay, so that's what's going to make our website so easy to use. So the first thing here we want to change is the title. So just like with any builder, again, you can select an element. You can highlight it if you want to write anything at any point. You can click over here to edit the features, the settings over here, the style, the advanced settings, or you can right click it and you can say delete, for example, right? And so let's start with the title. So in this case, I want to show affiliate marketing tutorials, right? Or let's say an affiliate marketing guide. That's what I'm offering on my website. So I'm going to say, get your free affiliate marketing guide. And the text is a little hard to see, but once we change the image, I'll show you how to also change the opacity of the image so it's easier to see the text. But let's suppose we want to make this bigger, right? So we're going to select it here, or click on this pencil icon to make sure that's the element that you're selecting. Go into style, and then over here, these are all the styling options that you can change for the text here specifically. So in our case, we want to go to typography over here, and we want to change the size. So right now it's at 50. So let's say we want to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe not that big. Let's say that looks good. And you can adjust your line height, your line spacing, your word spacing over here. So if you want to add more space, you want to add less space, you want to add letter spacing, right? You can play around with all these options they have available over here. So really simple. But again, it's a little hard to see, and we're going to work on that. Let's first change this description as well. So there are two over here. Let's click here. So it's not showing the whole element, but it is actually everything here. So you can edit either over here or over here. So let's select all of this, and let's say 55 page affiliate marketing guide to help you understand how to make money online. We can say that. Now that's a little too small, right? So we're going to go into style, go to typography again, and just increase that a little bit. Maybe not too much, maybe like this. And I feel like it's a little too close to the end there. So we can go into either style or advanced. So in this case, it's going to be under advanced. And as you can see here, the margin is -20. That means it's squished, right? So you will have to play around with these numbers if you want to edit anything on the page. So I'm just going to write 0 over here, and that's going to add more space between there. Next, we can click on the button, and the button text, we want to make that white as well. So we're going to click into style. We're going to look for the button element over here, and then we're going to look for text color. And you can click here, and these are the default colors for this theme, right? So these look pretty good, but if you want to change anything, you're going to go into manage global colors over here, and you're going to say, okay, for my primary color, I actually don't want it to be this. I want it to be this color, for example, right? We're going to click on undo. For my accent color, I want it to be this. Accent is like a hover, things like that. You have your hover green, that's the button color. So you can change any of the colors here. You can add more colors. So let's say for text type 2, I want to make it this color. You can do that here as well. I think this is good as is. So we're going to go back. We're going to discard any changes we made. The only thing we do want to do, and let's close out of the site settings, is we want to change our button text, right? So again, we're going to go to style here, and we're going to click over here, and we're going to make it white. And there you go. Now it's white. We can also add a little icon if you like. So if we go to content over here, you can choose an icon. So icon library, and maybe we want to add an arrow, and we want to add it to the right. Click on insert, and we want the arrow to be on the right hand side. And let's suppose we want some space. We're going to adjust it. So as you can see, the process is fairly simple, right? All you do is you add any elements you like, and then you can adjust all the sort of styling elements over here on the left-hand side. And that's pretty much it. You do the exact same thing for the entire website. It's as simple as that, just like any other page builder. Don't worry about the logo. I will show you how to add this as well as all the menu options over here. So we're going to do that after. But let's do this first. So let's change the image. So we're going to come in here and click on this option over here, click on style, and we want to change the image here. You can also use free images. So this is part of the plugin that we added, all the extra themes. So this is a cool other feature. You don't have to go in there and find new images. You can just do it via here. So let's suppose we want to find something work from home related. Tap it here, and we want to find something that has these similar dimensions, right? Again, we don't want to find something that's overly vertical like this one. This is going to be too vertical, so we won't be able to see the full image. So we want to find something that's a little more horizontal. So any of these are nice. Maybe this one looks good. We're just going to click that option over here, wait for it to load, and then boom, it's over here. And now you can see that it's a little hard to see, right? So what we can do is we can scroll down a little bit to where it says background overlay, and we can add an opacity to it. So we can make it a little darker, a little more opaque, so that way you can see it. Alternatively, we can make this in black, and then we can make the opacity color white, right? So if we come in here, we want to make it white. So things like that, you can choose however you want to do it. I think this looks nice, except maybe we should do it maybe not so black, maybe grayish, and maybe we can remove the opacity a little bit like that. And I think that's pretty easy to read, right? And then, so let's click on the button again. As you can see here, the button has the button radius. So that's how circular it is. And then it has the padding. Okay. So the padding is the space between the text here and the end of the button itself. So the padding is the space inside that element. So if we make the top more, for example, it's going to make the button bigger, right? So this was at 17. And if you want to make this bigger, you can adjust it like so. So you can make it 60, and then we can make this 60. And now the button is a little bit bigger. So you can make it like that. And let's say we want to make the text a little bit bigger as well. So we're going to click on typography, and we're just going to increase it by a little bit, maybe something like this. Okay. And that is it. So now if we click on another element to see what it looks like, it looks pretty good. If you want to add a little bit more space between the button and the text, you can come in here and you would change we'd go into advanced, and we change the margin here from the top. So let's say 20. Right? And that's going to increase the space between. And that looks pretty good to me, I think. So get your free affiliate marketing guide, 55-page affiliate guide to help you understand how to make money online. And then it says get started. And then also for the button, let's suppose we want to take people to my page, right? So we're going to click on https://ivanmehta.com. And if you click on this little icon here, you can say open in a new window, or you can keep it the same window, up to you. Make sure to click update over here so that your work is saved. You also have all your history over here where you can see everything all the changes that you've done. You can see revisions, which are bigger changes. You see your navigation panel over here. So you see all the different elements there. and you have your settings. So these are the general settings for the page. So the site title, the status, if you want to put it to draft, you have the style for the page, and advanced CSS options. You will need a plan with Elementor to be able to access this, but these will be your CSS options for the entire page. So we're going to click here, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about CSS, right? The whole point of this video is to make it super simple. And as you can see, we haven't needed coding at all for this, right? So the next thing we want to do is something like maybe recent blog posts, right? And then we're going to add this little testimonial. So let's add our recent blog posts, this little thing here. I think that looks really nice. So we're just going to go back into our page here, and instead of our services, we want to say, check out our recent blogs, something like that. And then we want to remove all this, right? So we want that element with all our blocks. So we can just right click here, click on delete, and now that is gone. We can keep this as is, or we can drag it to the top. If you want to move any elements around, by the way, you can just click on these dots over here and, for example, drag it up here. And so now you have the testimonials here at the top, just like we do here with this site. So we'll leave it at that. And then over here, we want to add all our posts, right? We want to add this image of our post. So to do that, we will need another plugin, because if you go back into all the elements here, you will see that there is no option to add just the posts. Or if there is, it's paid. It's a paid option. So we're going to click update over here. We're going to exit out of this, click exit, and you can choose where exactly you want to exit to. I want to exit to all posts. I'm going to click on apply, and we did save. So let's click exit again. And now we're going to go into plugins. We're going to go into install plugins, and we're going to click on add new plugin, and we're going to search for a plugin called Post Grid. Okay. Post Grid, because that's what it is. It's a grid for posts, and it's going to be this one. So we're going to click on it and install it. And then we're going to activate it. And so now that should be active. And so now if we come back into our page, so let's go back into all pages. Let's go back into, don't worry about that. Let's go back into all pages. Go to home, and we're going to edit with Elementor. We should now see additional options under the settings here. This one, TPG grid layout. And that's what we want. So we're going to scroll down here, and under check your recent blog posts, we're just going to drag it right underneath here, right over here. And there it is. And we forgot to add the image for the new article that we created with AI. So I'm just going to go ahead and update and go back into the page posts and add it real quick. All right. And so I just went ahead and added this image by going back into posts and just adding the featured image. And so what now we can do is, this looks pretty good, right? But it doesn't look as professional. So we don't want to show this over here. We don't want it to show read more as a button. We want to make this a little more rounded, and we want to change the hover color from blue to our default color, green, right? So what we're going to do is just click on this now. And as you can see, hopefully you're getting the hang of this. You just click on the element that you want to edit, and you'll be able to style it from right there. You can also choose a layout option. They have these different options here. They have additional paid options over here. Layout 1 looks okay, and we're just going to be able to edit it here and make it exactly the way we want it to. So the first thing we're going to do is click on settings, and we're going to choose what we want to show. So I don't want to show that section title over there. I just wanted to show the name. I don't want it to show any of the metadata. I just wanted to show the name of the posts. And if you go to post title, you can also choose how you want to limit the titles, because right now it looks a little uneven, right? You have these 2 lines here, and then you have 3 lines there. So it looks a little uneven. So if you want to change that, you can limit your title length by a number of words. So let's say we want to make it 10 words, or alternatively, if you click on title visibility title, you can say show in 2 lines, and now everything will be shown in 2 lines. So that already looks much better, but there are still a few things we want to do. For example, for the excerpt itself, right? For the description, we want to come in here, and here we want to change the limit as well. So maybe 200 is a little bit much. Maybe we want to make it 170 as the limit. And so now it's limiting it to about 5 lines here. Maybe we can increase it by a little bit, maybe 175. That looks okay. And then for the read more, we're going to click on read more, and we want to say only text, right? We want to make it only text. And when somebody hovers over it, it's going to be blue. So that looks pretty nice. But let's suppose we actually want to change the color. So it's always green in this case, actually, because our theme is green, right? So we're going to go into style. We're going to go into read more over here. And under text color, we're just going to click over here, and we're going to set our actual default color, which was our button color, I believe, is the hover green. Yeah, I believe that's the same color, but it doesn't look too good. Let's make it a little darker so it's easier to see. Or maybe this one. even darker green. I think that looks pretty good. And then you can also change the hover color. So if somebody hovers over that, we can make it a little bit lighter. So something like that, right? Or maybe that's too light. Maybe we want to make it like that. So it changes just a little bit. And so there you go. Already we're making progress, but let's suppose we want to add a little shadow to it, like over here, right? We have the little shadows there and we want to round it out a little bit. So let's come back in here. We're going to go into here, card post item. The card means the whole entire card. And we're going to enable box shadow. And right off the bat, you see the shadow right there. You can change all these details in the shadow, you know, horizontal, vertical, how you want it to look like. I'm going to leave it at 0. But what we do want to do is change the card border radius. So we're going to just increase it with the arrow keys, make it maybe 25 looks good, right? And there you go. So that looks pretty good. That looks pretty nice and professional to me. If you want to change the distance for any of these elements, so let's say this is a little too close to the end, for example, then you would again select everything over here. You would go into style. And then you would select what you want to change. So for example, if you want to change the post title, you would come in here and this is going to be the padding. So you're going to select the right and the left options. So in this case, let's say the left, and we're just going to increase it by a little bit. Let's say 10. And then the right one as well, we want to do 10. And so now it's a little bit more squished in, as you can see. And we can do the same thing for the excerpt here as well. For the right, we can do it 10. And for the left, we can do it 10 as well. And so now they're more in line, but they're more centered. And then, of course, we can do the same thing for the button. So we're just going to change it to 10, 10. And then we want to add a little more space between the button and the text. So that's going to be from the top. We're going to make it maybe 15, just like that. Okay. So that looks pretty good to me. I'm not too happy with this one over here, with the text over here. So we're going to come back in here and let's see if we can change the settings a little bit under the excerpt to make it look a little nicer. So maybe reduce the words a little bit, just like that. So by removing the one character, it removed that extra character that they had there. And that looks pretty good to me. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we can click update. And if we go back to our post, if we hit refresh, boom, right? It looks like this. And when somebody clicks on any of this, they're going to be taken to those individual blog posts. So really cool stuff. So if they click on read more, they're taken to this blog post, which you can edit if you wish. So far, our site looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I think there's too much space here. So let's come back in here and we want to adjust the space. So we can select this whole section over here, go into advanced. And as you can see here, there's 70 padding by default. So we're just going to make that 0. And I think that looks much better. Maybe we want to highlight all this. However, go to style, go to typography, and maybe we want to make it bold like that. So it's easier to see. Okay, maybe bold is too much. So let's go to, say semi-bold, I think looks good. Or medium, I think. Is that the way it was? Well, that looks fine either way. So that looks pretty good. Now the next section here is about us. So we can close these sections either by clicking duplicate or by just selecting it over here and saying no, because we're going to have this about us section on a different page on our website, right? And then over here for this questions, we can take people to our about us page, for example, or the contact us page. So over here, we can leave it at questions. We can say, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out by sending us an email via our contact page, right? And then this is going to take people to the contact page, which we're going to change in a second. But first, I want to make the color of the text here white as well. So we're going to drag it like that. Let's talk now. Then we want to make it a little bit bigger. So for the typography here, I'm just going to increase the size like that. I think that looks good. And we're going to change it to, let's say, send us a message, something like that. And then what we could also do is add an icon, go to icon library and type in email, or let's say mail, and say something like that. And then we want to put that on the right side and we want to add a little bit more space. And I don't like this icon. Let's go back in here. Let's see if there's no real message icon like an email. So we can do, let's say, something like this. That could be okay for now. So I think that looks pretty good, actually. And then you have your menu at the bottom here as well. Love Nature by Tyler Moore. So I'm going to show you how to edit that as well. That's going to be the footer menu, okay? So we're going to be able to edit the footer menu and the top menu. I'm going to show you how to do that exactly. And this looks pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe we want to change the image here. So we'll come in here, click on style, change image, and maybe we'll type in contact and see what we get. And maybe we can look for something to do with email, right? So maybe this one looks okay. Let's try that one. Something like this, but as you can see, the image is a little higher up, right? So we do want to keep it at full, but we want to center it a little differently. So maybe something like that. I think that's perfect. And then we can reduce the opacity. So we can click on overlay here, and we're just going to click on classic over here, and we're going to increase the opacity, but we need to pick a color first. So let's say this one, because the text is black here, we can make the color here white. Or I think the black actually would look much better. So let's just change that to black. And then let's come in here, go to style, and change the text color to white, and change this to white as well. So I think that looks better. So I think that looks pretty dang good for our homepage, guys. This is, once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do this in 5 to 10 minutes. This really shouldn't take you long to do once you get the hang of it. We do still need to change the logo and the menu options at the top. We will do that. First, I want to focus on completing this here, the menu bar options at the top and at the bottom, before we change the header and footer. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Let's click on update. Give yourself a pat on the back. You created a very nice looking homepage, I think, if we hit refresh. Obviously, you would change, any of the message here. If you want to change this message, you want to change the image, you can do so. Pretty simple. You just come in here, change the image, come in here, change the words. Okay, but that should be good. So let's go back. Let's exit out of this, and let's now change the other pages that we have, right? So the about, the services, the contact page, and I'm going to show you how to do it very quickly. You don't have to create it from scratch. So if you go to contact, and by the way, we want to go to edit first. We want to go to Astra. We want to click on advanced settings. We want to make the menu bar the same, right? Make it white at the top. Unless you don't want to, in that case, keep it as is. But for me, that's how I like it. And so here you have the contact page, which is impossible to see. So let's change this image here as well. Let's go to style. Maybe use, we can use the same one, maybe. Select. And again, we're just gonna make it like that. Gonna go to background overlay, and we're gonna make it more opaque, like that. Okay, that looks good. And then they have already created this form for you. So I'm going to show you how to customize it as well. And let's suppose this part we don't need. So we're just going to delete this whole section. And that is more than enough. And you can update, of course, you can say whatever you want. You can find us at, enter whatever details you like, click update. And then for this form, the way we're going to update the form is via our WordPress builder. So what we're going to do is, let me just duplicate this page so we don't lose it. And then we're going to go back, click on exit. And it's going to be under WP Forms over here. So that's another plugin that was added when you downloaded this specific theme. So you're going to click on WP Forms over here, and this contact form is right over here. So if you click on edit, you'll be able to edit this form. And then the cool thing is, whatever somebody enters here, you'll be able to receive via your email, right? So you can come in here, you can change whatever you wanted to say. So your name, that's what it says in there, but it doesn't say your name at the top. Right, so you hit the label right over here. You can do the same for email, your message. If you want, you can add more fields. If you click on add fields, you can add whatever else you want. If you want to add a multiple choice question, you simply drag it over here and you say, hey, how did you hear about us? Or something like that. You can add it there, right? So that's really cool. I'm going to delete that. And then if you go to settings, this is where you'll be receiving the email. So if you go to notifications, in this case, you'll be receiving the email to your admin email. The admin email is the email that you created the website with, that you created the hosting account with. So that's, in my case, Ivan@ivanmeta.com. And that's where I'm going to be receiving this email, right? So what I'm going to do is just quickly fill in this form just to show you what the email is going to look like. And then when you reply via that email, it's going to go to this user and you'll be able to talk to them via email from then on. So really cool. So you can change all these options here. So we can close out of that. And I think that looks good for the form here. I think it's pretty straightforward. So if we go back to our page and we go to contact now, if I enter my email and show you an example, let's see, Ivan@ivan.com. Hi. Can't send message. I'm going to open up my email now and show you what that's going to look like. And so this is the email that I received immediately, new entry contact form, and it said the message. And then if I click on a reply, it's going to go to this email, which in this case is marked as spam because no such email exists, but very simple to be able to communicate, right? So this form integrates very, very smoothly and very well. And so that's what that looks like. So really cool, really, really simple, right? So already you have your homepage, you have your contact page, very, very simple. Let's do one of these, maybe the about page. We can include some testimonials, and I'm going to show you a very easy way to add blocks onto your page without needing to start all over again. So we're going to come out of this. We're going to click on exit. and we're going to go to the About page. So again, let's click on Edit over here first. If you want to make the transparent header not transparent, you can do that. And so now if we go to About, the header is fine like that. And now we're going to click Edit with Elementor. And let's suppose over here we want to add some testimonials maybe, right? We want to say what people say about us. So I don't like any of this. So let's go ahead and just delete that. Let's delete this and let's start from the beginning. About us. And again, this is kind of hard to see. So maybe we want to, maybe the image looks nice, but we want to change the background overlay. Make it like that. So it's a little easier to see. And then what you can do here is instead of creating a new section and just kind of manually filling it in by going into text and adding a text element, an image, you can just click over here, starter templates. You'll be able to import basically existing either pages, so existing entire pages, or blocks. And by the way, I did have to switch into a different browser window, into Firefox, because for some reason with Chrome, this wasn't opening. So if you're using a specific browser and some things or buttons don't work, try a different browser and it should work. It's that sometimes WordPress can be incompatible with certain browsers at certain times, depending on the update. And you can choose whatever you like, right? So you can go over here and you can filter by whatever option you want. So in this case, we want testimonials. So instead of creating this from scratch, we can just import this block, right? Super, super easy to do. So I think this looks kind of cool, but that's video testimonials. You can find something else that looks nice, like these. That looks pretty cool. So we're going to click here. We're going to click import block, and then it's going to import this whole block. We don't have to do anything else, guys. Super, super, super easy. And if you like how this looks, you're happy with it, you can just right click it and click duplicate. And there you go. You don't have to redo any of it again. You have everything over here, right? And you can come in here and change all of this. So let's say this guide has really helped me a lot. Thanks, Yvonne, or something like that. Warren Smith. And then here you can say Yvonne is an amazing human being. Highly recommend. You know, these are real testimonials, by the way. People did actually say this. And another one we can say, Yvonne is often very professional. Thanks. All right. So you have some real testimonials here. Let's say my happy clients, right? And there you go. That's pretty much it, right? So you have the About Us page ready just like that with a snap of a button. Super, super simple. You click update, and then you want to go to the services page. You can do the same thing on the services page. So if we click on exit over here, we're going to click on edit here again. We want to make all the pages look consistent. Go to advanced settings, inherit, return to post, update. And then we're going to click edit with Elementor, and you can do anything here as well. So if you want to delete everything, we're going to just delete all these other sections here. So we're going to click on starter block again, and then you can go to blocks. And you can filter by, in this case, it's services. So maybe, let's see what we can find here. Services list, for example. So there's no option here. Let's see if there's anything else. Maybe services like that. And here, so that looks pretty cool. So you have something like that. That looks really awesome. So how easy does this get, guys? Like, this doesn't get easier than that. Actually, this looks really nice. So we're going to import that. And then basically what they did is they automatically reduced the margins here, as you can see, right? For this element, they went in here and reduced the margins on this section right over there. So it kind of squeezed in there, right? And then now all you have to do is just come in here and change, right? Change the words, say exactly what you're going to do. Like, WordPress has never been easier, in my opinion. Just when I started, I was so overwhelmed with these plugins. It is so easy to do all this, guys. So easy. So that is it. Like, you're just going to come in here. You're going to change the words. You're going to, again, click on button, change the button style, change the button color, right? Change where you take people to. And that is pretty much it. So now let's come in here and let's change the top section, right? Let's change the header and the footer. So it looks nicer. So maybe instead of Love Nature by Tyler Moore, it says our name. It has our name, it has our logo, and for the top as well, it has our logo. And I'm going to show you how to add more pages as well. So if you want to add more pages, or if you want to add specific underline effects to this, we can do so as well. So we're going to exit this. And what we have to do, let's update the page first. Let's exit again. And now, so let's say our home page. So we're going to view our home page. And we have to customize it using the default builder, not Elementor for this part. So we're going to click customize over here. And then we're going to customize the header section and the footer section, right? So let's look for the header builder right over here. And here are all the options. So you have the site title and logo, you have the button, which is invisible in this case, and you have the primary menu, which is over here. And you can see everything over here as well. You have the site title and logo, the primary menu, and the button. And for the button, we should probably change the color of the button so it's not white, right? So let's do that first. Let's just make the button visible. So make it like that. Then we go to general and we want to give it a link. So let's say start now. And then for the link, let's suppose we're going to take people to my site. So I think that looks a little nicer. And then we're going to go back and we want to change the site title and logo, right? So we want to change the logo first. I'm going to click change logo over here. And I already imported my logo, as you can see over here. What you want to do though, when you import yours, is pay very close attention to the dimensions. So 180 by 60 pixels. So 3 by 1. This is important because if you don't do it in these specific dimensions, then your logo is going to look pretty crappy if you try to make it bigger or smaller. Okay, so my logo does not fit these dimensions, but we're just going to use it as an example. So it's asking us to crop it. We don't want to crop it. I think it looks good as is. And so there you go. If you want to change the size of the logo, you can change it over here. If you want to change the site title, you can do so here. But normally the site title will be hidden because I think just the logo is good enough. So you don't need to show that. You have the tagline, which will show up just below the title. Again, I don't really like to include it because it's going to look messy. Just the logo is enough, but you can add it over here so it shows up instead of the logo if you wish. And then the site icon is going to be the favicon. So I'm going to click on select icon and upload my favicon over here, which I forgot to do before. And we're just going to click on select. It's going to ask us to crop it. This one we do need to crop. We're going to click yes. And there you go. As you can see in the top, now the favicon is our name, right? There you go. We're going to go back. And that is pretty much it for the header, right? If you want to change the color of the hover options of all that, let me show you how to do that. So if you click on the primary menu over here, you head over into design, you can choose if you want to set it to, for example, underline. And over here, it's going to be underline. You can't see it, but it is there. It's just hidden by that blue underline over there. But if I publish it real quick, just to show you what it's going to look like. Refresh our page. Let's go into, yeah, there, here, see, you see the underline. What I think is pretty cool is actually the zoom in effect. So if we publish that, it's just going to zoom in like that. So I think that's pretty cool. So you can do that. And then for the button, you can see the button disappears when you click on it. So actually, let's go back and let's do that real quick. That's going to be our hover color. So that's going to be this one right here. So we're just going to make it, let's say, dark like that. And now if you hover over it, it's going to be a little darker, right? So let's go back to our primary menu editing. So that looks good. And then, yeah, so if you want to change the colors, anything like that, you can do so here. For the menu over here, you can choose the menu font if you like. You can adjust the spacing as well. So if you want to make them more, if you want to add more spacing between all these different elements, between the menu options, you can do so. Now I'm going to deselect that and I'm going to increase the spacing for all of them for the right side at about 30, right? You can also change the margin for the entire menu over here as well. So if you want to increase it as well like that, you can play around with those. I think that looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. And so we're going to go back here and click on publish. And I think the menu looks good. So let me show you how to add pages here to the menu before we added the footer. So if we go back, we close out of that. And so if we want to add a new page, we can just click on pages, all pages, and click on add new. Or what we can do is, let's suppose we want to add a privacy policy page. I'm going to click on AI content creator here for Hostinger, and I'm going to make it a page. I'm going to make it formal. And we're going to say, please write a privacy policy page for Ivan Mana Inc. And then we're going to click generate content, and then that's going to just automatically build our page for us. So we're going to give it a second here to load, and then we're going to use that page to put in the menu if you want to show it that way. So if you want it to show up like a privacy policy over here, you can do so, but it doesn't matter what page you want. You're going to know the process for how to do that. All right. And so it created this privacy policy for us. So we're just going to remove that image, and this is our privacy policy, right? So as good as new. Of course, you can also go online and kind of create your own privacy policy, up to you, but I'm just going to go ahead and publish this one right over here. And that's what it's going to look like. So we probably want to delete that one. So we're going to go into that actual page and just edit this out a little bit to make it look nicer. But that's basically it. So let's go back into dashboard, go to pages, and we're going to select this page over here. Click on edit right over here. And we just want to delete this duplicate section right here. And then we want to add a space. So we're going to add a little space here, add a little space here, and just make it look nice. You don't always have to do this, but sometimes you do, and that's fine. I think everything else looks pretty good. Maybe add a little space here. add a little space here, add a little space here, add a little space here. And we'll click on update. And now that should look much better. So let's view the page. And so that already looks much better. So we can just come back into our dashboard now. And one thing we do want to do, all pages, is change the URL of this privacy page, right? So what we can do is click on quick edit over here. And instead of this slug, we can just say privacy policy. So it just looks much nicer. And we'll click update. We can do the same for the other pages, by the way, as well, like the contact page. If you don't like the way the URL is, you can change that as well. But I think this looks good. Services. And so that is our privacy policy page, right? So now if we go to appearance, we go to menus over here. You see the menu here. So if you want, you can go in there and drag the privacy policy page and click add to menu. And then it's going to be over here. And so if we save the menu now, let me show you what that's going to look like. You're going to see your privacy policy here. Now, obviously, this isn't something you want to show up like that. So we're not going to have it, but that's how you add any page you want. What you could also do is add a page. If you drag under any specific section, you can make it look like a sub item. So if I save that, and go over here, refresh, you'll see now this has a little option over there like that, right? So you can do it that way. Obviously, we don't want that, but we will use our privacy policy in our footer. So we'll do that. So we'll click save. So I think that looks pretty good. I think you know how to add menu options, how to remove menu options, and let's just refresh it. Yeah, I think that looks good. And so now let's work on our footer, right? So let's I think the menu bar looks good here, but we want to change the logo and we want to change the name, maybe add a copyright or something like that. So for that, we can use the footer builder. So let's go back into pages. Let's go back into all pages. Click on home over here. Click on view. And we need to customize it via this option right here. Click on customize. We're going to go to footer builder now. And here you can see the same thing. So you have the footer menu here on the left. You have this HTML, which is like the image over here. And then you have the copyright on the right. Okay, so let's click on the copyright, for example. Let's start with that. And you can change this. So you can say at Ivan Mana Inc. If you want to make the year be dynamically updated, you can add this code, current year, and it's going to dynamically update, right? So if I click publish over here, let me show you what that's going to look like. So it's going to dynamically update the year. So you don't have to do that. So I think that's okay. I don't remember what it's like. I think it should be like copyright at, right? But let's click on, footer menu looks good, but let's suppose we want to add privacy, right? Like the privacy option, the terms of use, all that. So we're going to click on this plus over here, and we're going to click on widget 1. Okay, so we're going to need to create a widget for this. So for this widget, we're going to click here. We're going to say got it, and then we're going to add a paragraph. And we're going to say here, let's say privacy policy, let's say terms of use, and let's say disclaimer. I think that looks good. And so what we want to do now is actually go in there and create all these pages, right? So we want to create a terms of use page, a disclaimer page, and then link them here. So we already have a privacy policy page. So you can just select that and you can link it and you can say the URL here. So we're going to enter that here / privacy policy, right? That was the link for our privacy policy. And then that's going to be that. And you'll notice that this isn't centered. So what you want to do is click on this widget, click on design, and just align it center. And that way it looks a little nicer. The other thing is maybe there's a little too much space here. So we want to select this. I want to go into design, and under spacing here, we want to deselect everything, and we want to remove the spacing from the top, or sorry, the margin here from the top. So we're going to remove the margin a little bit, maybe make it -20, and that way it's a little closer, right? And then for this image, last but not least, we want to come in here, and what they've done is they've added an image via this text element, but what you can do is you can just delete it and then add a media file. And again, you do want to make sure that it is matching because this one might be too big, right? So you want to make sure that the media that you input matches the dimensions that are recommended. So for the logo for WordPress, it's 180 by 60. If it's anything higher or lower than that in terms of the 3:1 dimensions, then you might run into some issues if you want to adjust the sizing and things like that, right? So that's pretty much it, I think, for our footer here. Let me just reduce the size here a little bit more. So there you go. I think that looks really good. That looks pretty neat. And that is pretty much it, right? Let me know in the comments if I'm missing anything. I think that's pretty much does it. You can edit the hover options as well over here if you want. So if you click on that, click on design, you have the line text. So this is going to be your hover. this one right here. So if you hover over it, and the active is the page that's currently selected. So right now we're on the home page. What color do you want it to show up as? So in that case, it's going to be that light green. And then when we select over anything, it's going to be the lighter green, right? So lighter green is the hover, and then the darker green is when it's actually active. So that's how that works. Obviously, you would come in here and then again, change the URLs for these as well. So you would go back into, this was widget 1 that we've created. You would select terms of use, and then you would enter the website, right? So again, we're going to paste the site here, / let's say terms of use. And then you would go in there and actually create this page. And then you would do the same thing for disclaimer, paste it here, / disclaimer. Click next, click publish. And I think that looks pretty good. The one more thing let me show you is the mobile optimization. Now, these pages will generally already be mobile optimized just because of the theme, but I'm going to show you how to make the changes if you need to. So let's come in here and refresh this and just make sure everything looks good. I'm pretty happy with the way we've done it, right? We have everything here. You could have also added a link to this image as well to take you back to the front page. If we click on privacy policy, they'll be taken here. If they click on the button, they'll be taken to my website, emonmeta.com. So let's go back. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good for a website, right? Considering how complicated WordPress can be, I think we've simplified it pretty much by quite a bit with all these different plugins. So let me show you, like I said, the one more thing, the mobile optimization. I think that should be it. So if we click on edit with Elementor, so if we go over here at the bottom into responsive mode, you can see what it's going to look like here on desktop and then on tablet, which as you can see, it already looks pretty good in general. And then on phone, mobile, right? And phone looks pretty good as well. And it looks good on all of these, but let me show you how to edit them and how to make the corresponding changes. So for example, over here on mobile and on tablet, there's this extra block that I don't want. So I'm just going to select it and click delete. And I think it looks a little cleaner. And then maybe there's a little too much space over here. So I'm going to select this option here, go into advanced. And from the top here, you see the padding is 70. So maybe we want to remove the padding here for this one. I want to make it 0, right? And if you pay attention, you'll see that here it says tablet portrait. That means that any changes you do here will only be applied to tablet. They will not be applied anywhere else, all right? And then this one as well, I don't want this little option here. I want it to go straight into that. I think that looks good. Let's suppose you think this is too close, or maybe this one is too close to the edges. You can click on it here, go into advanced, and then change the width here. So you can set it to custom, and then make the width a little bit something like that. But then you want to align it center, and you can make it like that. And again, this is only for tablet, right? So this will not affect, none of the changes we made have affected any of the other views, except this one, just because we removed, there was an additional column there that was there. So we removed it on tablet. So what we can do is just select the element and then make the width full 100, right? And then everything else here looks good, looks the same. So again, let's go back to tablet. Now this looks better. The words here, they look a little closer together. The blogs look good. Over here, maybe there's a little too much space, so we can select that. We can go into advanced. Maybe we can remove. Sorry, that's the padding from inside the element. We want to change it for this one right here, right? So we're going to click on this again, and that would be the margin. So make sure that you unlink it, and then you want to remove it from the top, right? We want to remove some space from the top, like that. Alternatively, you can come in here into this bottom element here and reduce the padding from the bottom. So if you select this whole element here, this one has lots of padding at the bottom. So actually it would be better if we just do this at 0, and then we come back here, and then so we're just going to put that back to 0, and then we'll remove that margin that we set back to 0. So now that looks good on tablet. And then on mobile, you can just click on any specific element like this one over here, and then go into style or advanced and just change the width here, right? Like custom, like what we did, and just make it customized if you want. I think default is okay. But if it's too big or too small, this is where you would adjust it under advanced for that specific element. And then that looks good. Over here, there's a little extra space. So for example, we could come in here, and from the top, we could remove that 50, remove that 50 from the bottom as well. We scroll down, and that looks good. But the image here now, as you can see, you don't really see the image, right? So let's go into the image here. Maybe it's because the image got deleted. Let's see. Yeah, so the image got removed here. That's fine. Let's come in here. Let's add that same image. And that looks good. And then if we want to change the background overlay as well, as you can see here, just for the mobile, right? I can make it even darker so it's easier to see. And then you have everything here at the bottom, which looks pretty nice and neat. So you don't have to do much because the theme already does a good enough job of making everything very optimized for you, right? So you can hit update. And congratulations. I think that's pretty much it. You've successfully created your own website. Everything here is nice and integrated, and it looks very nice and professional. You have your blog posts, you have your questions here if people, oh, we didn't do that, where if somebody clicks here, basically they'll be taken to the contact page, which we have over here. And yeah, looks very nice. So congratulations. I hope this was helpful for you guys. We've done quite a bit, and you can now build any sort of website. So now you can offer website building services for other people, right? You can do all this cool stuff. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars for a web developer. You don't need to buy super expensive website builders for hundreds of dollars a month. Everything is here and ready for you to go and get started and start building it out. So really cool. I hope you guys found value. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to check out my website at youtube.com/IvanMana, where I have over 600 videos at this point of just various online marketing tools and techniques and different cool ways for you to make money online and grow your business. So something you guys can definitely take advantage of and hopefully find value in. And that is all. Congratulations, guys, on building a very nice and professional looking website. Once again, if you haven't signed up with Hostinger, if you go to go.ivanmana.com/Hostinger, you'll get an exclusive discount. And don't forget to use my coupon code IvanMana in all caps. All right. And that is all. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.